welcome to this video on time management, created by the teen department here at the Prescott Valley Public Library. This video will be part of a series on life skills and getting you ready for the world around you. Today, we'll be talking specifically about how time management can benefit you and some tips for how to get started with this life skill. However, before we get started, I want to highlight the materials I used to create this video. These materials include the books Chill, Stress Reducing Techniques for a More Balanced, Peaceful You by Deborah Reber, and Manage Your Time by Kate Raybell. If you're interested in either of these books, they can be checked out from the library for further information that didn't make it into the slides today. With that said, let's start off by talking about what time management is. In a brief definition, it can be described as getting through the essential, compelling, and leisurely tasks on your to-do list, using strategies that are designed to help you. There's a lot that goes into this subject, but at the core of this life skill, it's a tool that's designed to help you navigate through life. It's a tool that's geared towards taking care of the plate in front of you and getting through all the stuff on it, whether it's related to school, work, home, or personal assignments. Despite that description, you may find yourself asking, what's the point? Why should I care? The point of using time management is to take the stress of feeling like there's too much to do in a short amount of time and to turn it into something that feels manageable. It's about getting things done, creating routine and structure, and helping you to find the time to do not only what you need to do, but what you actually want to do in a fast-paced world filled with distractions like life itself or even technology. This brings me to the reason on why you should care, because time management has benefits. By using time management to help you manage your load of tasks, you can develop skills and tools that are aimed at helping you succeed. You can help prevent the stress and anxiety of feeling overwhelmed by large amounts of work or feeling worried about due dates. It can also bring the balance and organization into your life, and it can give you the time to not only do what you have to do, such as obligations towards homeworks or work or volunteering, but to give you the time to do what you actually want to do, with hopefully the free time that you'll gain by using this life skill. That said, it's important to remember that there isn't a right or wrong way of getting through the tasks on your plate. When it comes to using time management strategies, remember that they're there for you first and foremost. Part of learning about time management is finding the strategies that'll work the best for you. There's a lot of different methods out there, more than what's going to be covered in this video, so don't be afraid to try things out and see what'll help you get through the workload. This video will highlight a few specific ways to manage your time and responsibilities, but consider talking to your peers and seeing if they have suggestions too, or think about doing a little more research on the topic to find the method that'll work the best for you. And now that we've gotten through the introduction of this video, we're going to start looking at a few ways you can start practicing time management. Some of these strategies or methods include being honest with yourself, figuring out and creating a schedule for your assignments and other tasks, and using a to-do list, planner, or a whiteboard. With that said, we'll start off by taking a deeper dive into these methods. First off, by talking about being honest with yourself. Consider pausing this video or taking some time to think about all the items on your list. Recognize from this list what you can and can't do, and ask if you're able to finish each task within the required time needed. Do you need to take a step back from certain things, or can you realistically manage the load? Take the time to examine this, because it's important to help you recognize if you've taken on more than you can chew. Of course, sometimes the amount of work can't be avoided, but just remember that you can always say no if you already have too much on your plate, like saying no if someone asks you to cover a shift when you have an assignment due that night, or if you already had plans. Consider also looking at the amount of time you'll need to complete each task and if you can manage that. Next, take some time to figure out your schedule. Look more at the types of items you're dealing with. Are they related to school, home? Are they social or personal? Or are they related to work? Then look at the due dates. What shifts are you working if you have a job? When your appointments? And What time is practice, or when do you need to volunteer? When are assignments due? Take some time to look at all of the information, and then examine how much time you have to dedicate to each task. And after you've looked at and figured out your list of assignments, obligations, and other various tasks, write them out. Keep track of everything by creating a plan and putting it down. You can use various tools to do this, such as a planner, a notebook, an online calendar, your phone, a tablet, sticky notes, a to-do list, or even a piece of plain notebook paper. Putting your plan down can better help you to visualize and keep track of everything that you're doing. Which brings me to this next slide. I've gone ahead and included some examples on this slide to help you understand the different ways you can go about doing this. But just remember that this is only an example and that there may be a better way out there for you to mark these sorts of things down, like using a doodle. But bringing your attention back to the slide, the first example uses a table that's a little more detailed in tracking school, work, and assignments throughout the week. It's more detailed oriented for sure, and if this isn't something that's your style, I would worry about it, but this is for someone who's more focused on keeping track of specific dates and times for when they may want to work on assignments, or when they have certain classes, or work schedules, or meeting with friends. The next is a simple to-do list that lists out everything due over the course of the week. This is more for if you just want to keep a general and broad overview of everything that's going to be due. There's also a whiteboard example that's right next to it that shows off one way someone might consider writing their schedule if they want to focus on just keeping more of a broad look at everything that they're doing, focused individually on a subject or a work or a program, and then they can cross it off. And the last involves a more day-focused list of tasks, something that you might see if you're using a planner or just a simple sticky note or scrap piece of paper. The nice thing about those last three methods is that you can cross them off as you go, and you just have a way to keep track of everything. But the point of this is just to help you remember that when you're writing these sorts of things out or looking at your schedule, things don't have to be completed in one sitting. Which is important to remember because sometimes we look at these assignments and we get a little overwhelmed because we assume that they need to be completed the moment that they're written down. But you can break assignments up and do it over the course of a week or dedicate certain days to completing specific assignments. And now that we've made our way through some of the main points, let's briefly touch on some other methods that you can use. Another way to go about creating your lists could be to list off the items by least to most important, which in turn can help you to prioritize items and figure out what you may need to focus on now versus what you can do later. You can also create and set goals for yourself or set deadlines to motivate you and keep you on track. For example, say you have a big project coming up and you want to get started on it. Finishing the project may feel daunting, but breaking it up into bite-sized bits may help you to not only get the assignment done on time, but to make it feel less intimidating. You can also do this by setting up goals and deadlines. So, say if it was an essay, for example, you might decide to write the outline and thesis on a Monday, the introduction on a Tuesday, the body paragraphs on a Wednesday, and the conclusion on a Thursday, leaving the rest of the weekend to finalize your draft and submit it on a Sunday. Of course, you may want to finish the rough draft for the essay in one sitting and then give yourself the rest of the week to edit it, or you may want to spend the first 2 days researching before you write. The point is, you can create the goals and deadlines that'll work the best for you, because it's pretty open in the terms of how you can go about doing it. The last point on the slide involves saying no. Saying no was mentioned a few slides back, but I want to emphasize its importance. The word no is a powerful tool for multiple reasons. But in this case, saying no is about managing your load. If you feel overwhelmed or like you don't have the ability to add any more things to what you're already doing, say no. It's okay to reschedule and offer up alternatives, or to say no to coming in to work a last-minute shift if asked to. Now, of course, that isn't to say that there won't be times where you can't avoid these situations and you won't be able to say no. But for the things that you can control, try not to overload yourself, because at the end of the day, you're just one person and you have to give yourself a bit of slack. Which brings me to my next point. Another thing you can do is to give yourself breaks or buffers between assignments. You may find yourself feeling stressed about the workload, or maybe you've been working on something for a while now. Give yourself some time to get away from it, because it can be good for you to kind of reset your mind a bit. So consider setting a timer, going for a walk, watching an episode of your favorite show, getting a snack or a drink, reading a chapter from a book you actually enjoy, taking a nap, doing whatever it is you can think of that'll help you get away and recharge for a moment or two. Then maybe think about reorganizing your workspace and taking some time to clean up your area or to even re-examine your to-do lists. Maybe consider turning off or silencing distractions like social media or devices around you. Listen to music like lo-fi, scores from video games, or movies, or anything that'll help you kind of set your mood for getting ready to study. And consider, if you're struggling, relocating to a different room or different area, like maybe going from your bedroom to the living room, or going to a library or a coffee shop. Lastly, you may think about trying something like the Pomodoro Timer, which involves working for 25 minutes and then taking a 5-minute break after. And then after 4 sets or intervals, you then take a longer break for 15 to 20 minutes, and then repeat as needed. These are only a few methods, however, so consider trying them out or doing a little more exploring to see what else is out there for you. And now, we've officially come to the end of the video, and I hope you've learned a little more about time management. But I'd like to briefly summarize everything that we've gone over. So, we've learned so far that time management is here to help you. When using the various methods that we've talked about, the goal is to help you manage your workload. It's about learning the skills to keep you on track and to ideally become less stressed. And lastly, the goal of time management is to help you make the time to get the stuff done so that you have the time to do what you want to do. And with that, we've officially come to the end of the video, and I wish you the best of the luck and try any of these out. And if you need any help or you have further questions, reach out to the teen department here at the Prescott Valley Public Library, because we're happy to help answer and resolve any questions you have.